At least I think it is.
Yeah, it has a little symbol YouTube and it's like looks like it's
There
oh,
it is. Okay, it's streaming. All right, welcome everybody. This is your managing broker Bob, Chief Technology Officer, broker extraordinaire for Tech Tuesday here with KW Metro in San Diego. We've got some people here, which is great to see that. And forgive me if I seemed a little challenged today. I'm having tech issues. And it's kind of been kind of frustrating trying to get stuff to work today, but we're getting it there. So, show of hands, I really appreciate people showing up here every week. Pretty much the same faces too at times as well. Have you been utilizing and implementing the stuff I've been teaching? Honest answers. And if so, what have you found most useful with some of the stuff you've been implementing? Anybody want to speak?
so I have to be honest, I have not particularly implemented a something you've taught us directly. Indirectly, yes, the way that you've taught us to prompt and to just to communicate with it, yes, I have. So I've learned a lot from coming to these classes. So I just haven't done exact things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I appreciate that because look, we're all busy. You got 1,000 things on your plate every day, and to manage it can be a little overwhelming if you're also busy in the business. I get it. The great thing about what BrokerBot in particular can do is it can give you a lot of leverage of your time, so you get your time back on the stuff that used to take time. You're like, oh, I should do some social media posts, and then you just don't have the time to do it. I just finished a 8-week landlord burnout campaign. If you've been watching, following my stuff on all of my socials, it was all created with BrokerBot. It was 8 weeks, posting twice a week with all the different material to post to each of the platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads.
That's
And all I
awesome.
had to do was feed in what I wanted. It created the prompts, it created the material, it created the graphics, and it did a really good job. So if you haven't looked at it, go and look at all the stuff I've been posting on Instagram and my LinkedIn, and it segregates it out too. So what it posts on LinkedIn will be different than what it posts on Facebook. So it's speaking to that audience on LinkedIn. I do these Tech Tuesdays to teach you guys how to implement some of the technology that's out there to streamline your business, but really is to get you out there and have a digital presence. Because if they're not finding you online, you're gonna get behind on this. If and that's where people are moving towards right now, and where the industry's moving to, where people that and we've been preaching this about technology since it really kind of came out. They will look for you online and see what you're like before they invite you into their home to tell you they're going to sell it. Um, that's the first phase. If they can't find you online, then you're dead in the water. The second phase is now with AI, is training AI to find you to recommend to them. So no longer are they going to have to do the research. They're going to plug in and say, I need a San Diego a Mission Hills expert to help sell my home. And it's because of the tools that will allow you to put the content out there using the GEO as the background in it. Because if you're doing Mission Hills as your primary source of, that's your geographic farm, and you're seeding enough content out there, then you will be the one that will pull up and be recommended by AI. And that's where we're moving into. So the quicker you guys start getting more of this digital platform out there, and I've got it so streamlined with the posting on social media, it takes me less than 15 minutes every day. And then I'm done. and then I go about my day. So I time block it in my day to do the posting first thing in the morning. And I'm doing the digital assets that I get from BrokerBot, then I'm doing my Substack program as well too. And then that's pretty much getting enough of the content out there. So I implore you guys, please. I love that the fact you guys are attending these weekly trainings, but I want you to start implementing as well too. That's the coach in me speaking. The coach is it's great to show up, but if you're not implementing, you're not going to learn what you're not going to reinforce what you learned here to remember it.
Yeah, I'm loving that you have it recorded. Thank you so much. I was having standing meetings at 11:30, so I had to keep jumping off. I've now pushed those meetings out till noon on Tuesdays, so I can I try to have my screen up and do it while you're talking, which is really, it's just how tactical learning. If I don't do that, I'm like, let me go back and watch the video. So the fact that there's videos are great. And I find that I need to allocate the time in the evening because you're right. I get bogged down with the daytime, the phone calls and so forth, or when we can talk to our clients. And then I'm trying to put a few hours in the evenings, although I've given it to Craig as a task and he's really finding it beneficial. I just like, okay, how'd you make that go? So I have to go back and watch your videos.
Well,
Thanks for the backup.
time blocking is what we talked about. If you've ever taken a bold training or an ignite
Yep,
session or listen to Gary speak, if you're not time blocking,
have to. Yeah, I'm super, super stringent with that. So you're
yeah,
6 to 7, 3 nights a week
yeah,
on
you've
this.
got to get in the habit of using a calendar in real estate. Otherwise, you'll be spread out too thin all over the place and unfocused. And your clients will know that when they come across you. Diana Kokoska, who started teaching, started the Bold program and then was one of my coaches and mentors. She'd always talk about having a paper calendar when she'd pull out a paper calendar in front of a client and then they would see that it's completely full. Well, people want to work with one that's organized, but has they're busy. So it just kind of gives the impression, yeah, I'm busy. When can I squeeze you in on my calendar? And they think, oh, I'm lucky enough to be in on Kareen's calendar or Aaron's calendar. So this week, besides telling you guys to time block and implement some of the stuff, I want to share with you some of the new workflows that I put on to BrokerBot on the main page. And I came across these workflows on the web. I'm like, these will make, or they're basically they were prompts that were put out there that agents should be using to get recognized by AI. And so there's 7 of them I put in there, and I was fiddling with them prior to teach the class, and it was not working. So I was getting frustrated. I got one to work. Um, I think BrokerBot, as they're growing as a company, they have a lot more users getting into the platform. And it's not just BrokerBot. In my Claude, I'm getting delays in Claude as well when I'm utilizing Claude. It's taken some time. And so be kind to BrokerBot if they're not responding. And then if it's not, step away and come back to it later and give it some time. But you also need to go in and clear your cache and cookies. If you know how to do that in your browser settings, that's important to go clear that out because it's got some resident memory in there that might be interfering. And then logging in and logging back out. And then I use Google Chrome as one of my main web browsers. And so sometimes I'll go into an incognito window and I can get it to work in there because it's not got all the junk that's filtered in there. So using an incognito window will help as well too. So without further ado, let's get into this is your BrokerBot homepage. Well, and still calling her Ellie. The jury's still out. People are like, I don't know if I want to call her Ellie. I like to call her Broker Bob. Well, I liked Ellie because she's a little bit more friendlier than Broker Bob at times. She won't talk back to you as well. But I've created these workflows and put them on the main page. And this one right here, this workflow for is someone that's brand new to BrokerBot, learn how to leverage Ellie. So if you click on that little box right there, that's going to just give you the basics of Ellie. So if you're brand new with BrokerBot, click on that. And then the next, kind of like in tiers, I've got save time, ask Ellie how to do the best CMA ever. And that's a really good CMA. It's a 5-step CMA that will ask you questions. So if you're doing a CMA for a seller, but if also for a buyer to know what price you should come in at. And that CMA, when it goes through that whole process, it's pulling in the comps and it's also adjusting pricing for the comps, not only on your actives that are out there, but also pendings as well as solds. So, and it can make some good defenses when someone says, well, I want to price it up here. And you can say, well, here's why I feel we should price it here because of A, B, C. It'll give you the key points to talk about. And then the regular stuff, contract reviews, seller net sheet, buyer net sheets. And then the next section is marketing social media. So build your full post social media piece, an 8-week social media campaign. This is the one I've just used. That's the one I used to build out my 8-week campaign of burnt out landlords. And then a marketing package. That one was actually put in by BrokerBot. So I've never used that one. And then image generation was one put in my BrokerBot. And then the next section is all coaching. And then the final section is the one that I just added this week. And it's get recommended by AI. So again, if they're not finding you online, you're dead in the water in the future. They have to find you. So think of each of these as they're in order. So you're going to go first to digital footprint, Google Business, create a bio, build your complete AI, discover. So just go like that right down through it because when you get to the last one, it's now doing all the topics from the previous the previous six, excuse me. So digital footprint audit, and rather than well, let me see if I pull it up if it's going to work. So what the digital footprint audit says, it's going to help you become more visible in AI-powered search and recommendation platforms. And it's going to go out and actually do the search. Now, I'm not going to wait on this. I wished that it was working prior to the class. I would have had this preloaded. But let me go and show you what I did have done. I went in and had it go in and do the one that says, help me optimize my Google business profile. So show of hands on here. Who has a Google business profile and do you have it completed? And do you feel that you have it up to date? Well, I thought I did. Mine isn't either, but I did it. So what I did was I clicked on the workflow, help me optimize my business profile. And then I went and found it and I put the link for my business profile into the chat box. And then it went in and then said, first, what's your primary market area? What's your niche? So again, Nikki, you would be commercial as part of your niche. Or if you're doing a geographic area, if you're doing a demographic farm, a psychographic farm, figure out what that is. If you haven't figured that out yet, you go back and do the UVP, figuring out your unique value proposition, and figure out what your niche is going to be in real estate. Remember, specializing in helping people buy and sell real estate isn't a niche. It's a broad swath of what you do. But specializing people buy and sell homes in Mission Hills, San Diego, that's very directive. And that's what the AI needs to know. It needs to know exactly what is your specialty. Think vertical in your marketing. Think Bridget Potterton in our office. Her niche is what? Divorce specialist. And because of that, the AI will pick up that she's a divorce specialist in San Diego when she's doing her marketing and advertising for such. And then we'll go through and ask some deeper question. Who's your ideal client? Again, this is kind of going through your UVP again. If you've not done that exercise, then you could still do it right here, right now. Do you have a profile? How many reviews do you have? Do you have a professional brand photography? And this is where I just cut and paste my current profile in there. And it went through and did the analysis. And when it says GBP, that's a Google business profile, did an audit on it. And it showed across my profile, it's got a business name. I guess my category, likely real estate agent, needs to be expanded. Gives me my address. It's got some confusion with phone numbers, and I don't know why that's happening. I'll have to check on that. It's got my website. it's not accessing my reviews. I know I have your reviews on there, so I don't know why it's not accessing it. And then a photo, I have posts on there. I don't have Q&A, so I need to put some Q&A. And then services almost certainly, I guess I don't have that filled out either. So I got to go back in now, update. And so what it did is it went through all the critical gaps. Fix these first. Reviews. This is your number one emergency. What I'm finding, the more I'm getting into this, and I met with a company last week that will help agents in our office get their reviews. All they have to do is upload their social media. And I'm trying to figure out how to bring that into the office because there's a fee for it. But it's so easy because you guys are doing 1,000 different things every day. Honestly, who's had time to go get reviews once you've closed transactions? You're on to your next transaction. Well, apparently this service is so good that it will help. It'll do it the heavy lifting for you. So I'll be presenting it to the finance committee and then the ALC, and then to figure out, okay, how can we bring it into the office? So it did that, did the review, it got my phone number inconsistency, so I can check on that. And then I guess my category selection, I guess I don't have it selected on my Google business profile, real estate consultant, agency, business management consultant for coaching. I need to add that. And then it optimized my description for AI, where it packed the keywords that it needs for AI to pick it up, and it wrote it for me. So then now all I need, and I guess 750 characters, the sweet spot. So now all I need to do is cut and paste that into my Google business profile. And then it's telling me on service descriptions to add every one of these into my service descriptions, which I never thought of on my Google business profile. And then Q&A questions to pre-populate. Google loves Q&A. So seed these yourself through keyword rich answers. So it's telling me what I should put as questions and answers on my Google business profile. And then current state, you have a headshot circulating, but very likely little elsewhere, very little else on. Yeah, I only have a headshot. So it's telling me I need more pictures. So it says a professional headshot, an office team photo, at work with agents, at properties, community landmarks, 30-second intro video, client testimonial video, market update video, behind the scenes at KW Metro. So it's telling me what's my video strategy. We record a welcome to San Diego Metro office tour, 60 seconds. Record what is a 1031 exchange explainer, 90 seconds. Meet your managing broker, intro, 45 seconds. And post a short market update video every 2 weeks, which I can get from BrokerBot. And then 10 SEO, AEO optimized Google posts. So these are the posts that it says I can just basically put on my Google business profile because I'm using it for authority builder to recruit agents and be educational. Um, so those, and then review request templates. It gave me some templates that I can send to my past sellers, investors, or agents I coach to get a review. And then a local search ranking checklist. I've already claimed my business profile, my business name, my primary category. So it gives you a checklist of everything just to go through. And then it gives you a weekly posting calendar. And then it asks, what would you like to tackle next? Should I upload any of these posts as a Canva graphic? Or would you prefer I focus on something specific? So if I'm going to do more Google business profile posts, I could basically just take and ask BrokerBot to create the Canva graphics, and it will do it all for me. So if you have connected your Canva to your BrokerBot, you'll get that. So that's how you do your Google business profile. That's the one I had time to do. The other one is a great one. Create a bio that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what I did. So digital footprint. So on the digital footprint one, it's going to act as a digital footprint, personal branding. It's going to go through and find you on Google search, your website, your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Zillow, Realtor.com, Google business profile, and other public online mentions. If you don't have all these things set up, you definitely need to get out there and set them up. Because if they can't find you online, again, you're dead in the water. So it's a identify any consistencies, etc. Then it's going to provide you a step-by-step action plan on what to do. The next workflow is optimize your Google Business Profile, which we just went through. And the other one is this one I liked a lot. I haven't used this one, but I want to. Create a bio that AI can actually understand. So it's going to act as an answer engine optimization expert specializing in helping real estate agents become more discoverable and recommended by AI platforms. So if you want to be the top real estate agent in Rancho Santa Fe, you could definitely do it by following some of these workflows and doing it step by step. Discover the questions buyers and oh, this one I liked a lot. This is another workflow. Discover the questions buyers and sellers are already asking. So how do you get AI to answer and recommend you? By making sure whatever questions that people are asking, whether they're buyer and seller, you're answering that in all of your social posts. So it's given the top 25 questions buyers are asking online in any market and sellers, etc., fears, frustrations. And then basically what you do, you provide that as material in all your social media posts. Next workflow, create content AI wants to recommend. So once you know the questions consumers are asking, the next step is to understand how to package those answers in a way that earns visibility. Not all content performs equally. Some content gets engagement, some builds trust, and some gets recommended. That prompt will help you, the topics, formats, hooks, and emotional triggers that increase the likelihood of your content being surfaced by algorithms and AI systems. This prompt is where your strategy begins to replace guesswork. And then the next workflow is reverse engineer what AI already trusts. So one of the favorite exercises is asking AI who it already trusts and recommends. Why? Because patterns leave clues. This prompt will identify agents already receiving visibility and it analyzes their content, their authority signals, their posting strategies, and positioning. The goal is not to copy them. The goal is to understand what AI see as valuable so you can build a strategy that remains authentic while incorporating the same foundational principles. I'll give you an example. This was a couple months ago. I went and asked AI to analyze the top agents, and I found a prompt somewhere, probably on Inman or somewhere. Analyze the top agents in the market in San Diego and what were their strengths and weaknesses with their digital footprint. And it gave me their strengths and weaknesses for their digital footprint. So then basically this prompt is trying to help you do is like, you don't want to mimic them, but you want to fill in the gaps where they are missing on their digital footprint. So if you've got a competitor in your market that you're trying to compete against, especially Corrine, if you're doing probates and trusts, find who the competitors are and figure out where do they lack in their digital footprint and let me fill in the gaps based upon what people are talking about. Like for you, Corrine, I would go up here where it says discover the questions buyers and sellers are already asking. I would change that and say discover the questions that people are asking about probate, how to list a probate, how to sell. ha- I inherited a house in probate. What is my next steps? That type of question. So reverse engineer what you think people are asking, or go out into Google and say, what are some of the top questions that people are asking about probate if they have a home that they inherited in probate? And then that's the questions and the content that you fill in when you're building your digital footprint. Does that make sense? So again, that's what reverse engineer. Think about what people are asking that you want to reach. Ask a platform what people are asking, and then reverse engineer what your posts are going to be based upon what they're asking. And then your content will pick up when someone goes and asks that question. And then the final one, build your complete AI recommendation strategy after you've done the previous 6. Then you're ready for the final step. This prompt brings everything together in a complete 90-day action plan. It analyzes so basically it's going to do all the work for you for 90 days. So once it does that 90-day action plan, guess what you can tell it to do? If you've got your calendar connected, let me show you on my calendar exactly what that looks like. So this was the 8-week campaign that I just finished, and I had it put on my calendar, what is my post today? So it created the time of day for me to do, but here's the campaign, and it tells me exactly what to post in that message. So you can tell AI, you can tell BrokerBot to put it on your calendar, okay? And then you have it in your calendar, and if you forget to do it, one day you can go back, oh shit, I didn't post that shit on Tuesday. I got to go back because today's Wednesday. Today's Thursday. Let me see what I need to do and then go back and build it out. Because it does give you the 90-day action plan to finish it out. So today's session was all about how do I get AI to start recommending me? And I've given you 7 workflows to take you through and go in and start that process of getting AI to recommend you if you have a desire to want to be a specialist in that certain niche that you figured out that you want to focus in on. Isn't that fantastic? Let me see if I've got, and one other thing I want to share. I did that one. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to do that one. All right. Well, that's the name of that tune today. Do I have any questions, thoughts, comments? Apologies for not implementing what I've been teaching you for the last few weeks. I don't see any dark chocolate bars being delivered to my office. Go ahead, Corinne. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, sorry, Robert. Chocolate coming right up.
I'm going to change this to the Tech Tuesday Action Workshop, meaning you
Cool.
come and learn and then you implement.
Yeah, there's a couple things on here. I'm looking at the business profile, like it said I'm lacking the Q&A section. I didn't even know that existed. So I'm gonna go, I thought it was pretty complete, but I'm gonna run through it, just bullet point down from what BrokerBot's telling me.
Mm-hmm. Gave you the plan.
Cool. Very cool.
All right. Aaron, I love your background. It looks very calming and peaceful wherever that is.
We're
Thank
going to
you.
head out there. We're all going to head out there, right? And
It's
hang out with you.
AI, so it doesn't exist.
It looks
My
beautiful.
greenhouse.
Looks very bohemian /
Yes,
nature-like.
yes. I'm a little boho. That couch is a little flowery for me, but otherwise I like the plants in the garden.
That's pretty much my house. So,
I love
all
it. Well, then we're going to your house, I guess.
right.
Yeah,
All
party at BB's. Or not party, but
Yeah.
relaxation.
No further questions. We are done then.
Thank you.
Okay, my
Thank
guidance
you.
is implement something. Go look at those new workflows and just, if you're still learning, just go in and play with them. If this old go could go in and teach himself AI, you guys can too, and you're all much younger than me. So start implementing, and you make mistakes. The great thing is, if you get stuck someplace, say, I'm confused. Help me out. What's my next step? And it will tell you. Done that a lot. All right, guys, we will see you next week.